So this is rather amusing. We have a lot of pundits and prognosticators lining up to tell us that there is absolutely, positively no way on earth that Donald Trump can win a general election. And many of these people are the ones who told us there was absolutely, positively no way that he could win the Republican nomination. So the press is facing a little bit of a credibility gap. And my suggestion is maybe we need a little bit more humility from many of my colleagues who were, what's the technical term? Wrong. That's right, wrong about Trump being an absolute long shot, sideshow, not to be taken seriously in these GOP primaries. Now, some have come out and said, look, I was wrong. I underestimated Donald Trump. Here's why. Now, this doesn't mean that Donald Trump doesn't face a lot of obstacles in a fall election against Hillary Clinton. And it doesn't mean that the people who were wrong the first time are going to be wrong again. If you just look at the Electoral College map, any Republican nominee, not just Trump, would face a hard time against Hillary because there are a lot of states that are now lean heavily Democratic. And if she just wins all of the states that have gone Democratic in the last 6 elections, plus Florida, or plus some other combination of states, she is over the magic number of 270. What people forget, though, is that, yes, Donald Trump has high negatives. He had that problem in the primaries, but he brought those numbers down. Yes, he is divisive and controversial, and a lot of people don't trust him. But he has managed to grapple with that, certainly in the primaries. But at the same time, he brings certain strengths. One, he's unpredictable. A candidate like Hillary Clinton is not used to running against somebody who's not just a non-politician, but kind of a New York street brawler who's shown that he was able to outlast and defeat and run circles around all of these governors and senators and other esteemed political personalities. Also, he's a businessman who has created jobs, and he's running against trade deals, bad trade deals, he would say, that have penalized the working classes, which means he could appeal to some of the same folks Bernie Sanders appeals to, which are blue-collar types, factory folks, Reagan Democrats, I call them Donald Democrats, who don't feel that either party has done much for them. And also, he's a Republican nominee who is saying he will protect entitlement programs such as Social Security and Medicare. Usually we have GOP nominees who say they want to cut or trim or restrain or reform or privatize those programs. And he doesn't play up social issues. He's not running we're beyond the days of needing a constitutional amendment against same-sex marriage. And even on abortion, he's for exceptions if it were to be outlawed. So all of those things say to me that it could be an unpredictable fall campaign. Now, he's got other challenges. He has to find a way to raise a lot of money, which he was mostly just spending his own money in the primaries. And he's got to build a national campaign apparatus. And Hillary's been running or gearing up for the fall election, despite the fact that Bernie Sanders hasn't quite gone away, for a long time. So it's hardly crazy to say that Donald Trump faces a lot of challenges, but I think we just ought to perhaps take a collective deep breath, because many of those in the press, some of whom still oppose him from the right and the left, and many of the mainstream media pundits who so totally underestimated Donald Trump, just ought to be a little careful about not doing it again.